We have a saying around here.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, no brains, no headache.
Well, hello, boys.
What's up? What's up?
Damn, son, where'd you find this?
Episode 190 of No Brains, No Headache podcast starts right about now. My name's Jordan. I'm your host today. Happy to be here. Damn glad to do it. As always, I am joined by my longtime friend, my co-creator, co-founder of the podcast. His name is Matt Cleary, and we have a special guest today for our 190th episode. It's our friend from West River Hat Co., the founder, Lane Berg, joining us from Sioux City, Iowa. Lane, welcome to the show.
What's up, boys? Thanks for having me.
Yeah, I'm glad to finally get you on. As you can see, I'm all decked out in my West River Hat Co. Apparel because I'm a big fan of what you do. So that is part of what we're going to talk about today. And Matt, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm not wearing any West River Hat Co. right now because forgot.
He has a sweating problem. His left armpit sweats profusely. And I think
that's all right.
His shirt.
Dude, I was wearing one of your shirts and I come in, I'm like, this thing's so comfortable. And Jordan's like, oh my God, look at your left pit. And I was just pitting out the whole thing.
Too comfortable, huh?
Yeah, too comfortable.
He's a medical anomaly with his left armpit. We've been seeing doctors, just can't seem to figure it out.
I mean, it's going to save me a lot of money when I inevitably have to get Botox to stop the sweating because I only got to do it in one of the pits.
Heck yeah, it's a good workout plan. You just keep sweating, get it out of you.
Yeah, I got the best looking left armpit in the state.
So Lane, we haven't chatted in a while. What's up with you? What's new? How have you been?
Doing pretty good, man. Just trying to keep at the hat gig and trying to find new shows and trying to get all that lined up. Just was out at the Black Hill Stock Show here in Rapid, and there was actually a hometown rodeo here in Sioux City, so I had to set up for that gig and just kind of getting restocked and getting the ball rolling for the next one.
So we are recording end of February. This will come out early March. Does this time of year kind of slow down for you?
Honestly, not really. There's a few coming up here in March. I'll go to the winter show here next week, and then there's a Fargo Pro Rodeo and stuff like that. But just a few winter rodeos to go to, and just trying to find different festivals and other things I can maybe get my hands into here coming up. So just trying to expand a little bit.
How much is repeat? Like, do you know where you're going every year? Or is it 90 and then you're like, all right, I'll figure the other 10% out?
Well, to be honest with you, last year was a complete trial run. Last year was my first full year going at it. So I just let it ride. I didn't have a clue where I was going, what I was doing. So I was just trying to figure it out on the fly. And, this year, kind of looking back at it, you'd figure out which ones were okay, which ones I can maybe do without, but yeah, I don't know. It's just a trial by error and just trying to figure it out, I guess. But
so let's break down West River Hat Co. We're with the founder Lane Berg today, joining us for this podcast, which I'm very happy to have as guest. What is West River Hat Co.? How did it start?
So West River Hat Company was just kind of a brand based on the Missouri River splits the state of North and South Dakota in half. So they always say West River is better than East River. So that's kind of where it kind of started. And me and a couple friends in college, we kind of come up with the idea and we're like, okay, this might be kind of something we want to go into. And one thing led to another. And I just ended up running with it by myself. And I figured it's too good to not try. So I was like, screw it, I'm going to do it. And made her for a few friends, and it just consistently people were wanting hats and stuff like that. So I was like, shoot, maybe I have something here. And I don't know, I just every once in a while dip my hand into some shows I could get into. Like I got into North Dakota Country Fest. That was one of my first ones I ever did. And after that weekend, getting it going and just kind of like, okay, maybe I got it. So been just trying to put my own touches on it and trying to get it out to new people and trying to just see what happens, I guess. But it's West River Hat Company is mostly just for like hardworking people and Western way of life, ranching, people that just don't really take no as an answer pretty much. So just
Well, I
keep
should take this
striving to
off
be better.
then.
Yeah, I was like, I'm glad I didn't wear any because that you just described the opposite of me, actually.
Oh, you got that hard to tame in you.
Dude, I have a pair of boots that I literally looked at this morning because we got some snow, and I was like, those would kind of be hard to get on. So I just said, fuck it, and wore sneakers and walked out the door.
There you go.
Gotta strap up the boots, Matt, to rep the West River Hat Company brand. So the concept of it, obviously, we have a longhorn bull. Our listeners maybe not be able to see it, but
Yeah.
you actually make out the West, and then it says River in it. How did you come up with the design? How'd you go about that process?
We just got lucky. We kind of had the name started, and we're like, okay, well, we got the name picked out and everything. We might as well try to like somehow have a subliminal message in it or whatever. And we're like, okay, if we're gonna try to gear towards more Western style people or West River people, everyone deals with cattle and everyone has that longhorn already kind of ingrained in their head. So we're like, okay, let's try to figure that out. And it took a few bush lights, but we got it figured out.
That's the best way to go about it. Since you're based in Iowa right now, but you travel all over, do you get good reception of the West River brand, even if you're nowhere near West River or Western North Dakota?
Yeah, it's crazy, man. So I did a few shows. I went as far as Fort Worth, Texas last year, and Nebraska. Went to Council Bluffs, Iowa, Omaha, some stuff out in East Iowa, and it's crazy. People don't understand it, but they kind of have their own little quandaries. I went to Kansas City, Missouri last year, and they have the same type of deal, but it's a north and a south. So they kind of got the same idea, and I don't know, just everyone's kind of been taken to it, so it's kind of cool.
You said you went down to Fort Worth, Texas. Is it true everything is bigger in Texas, or what was your experience like?
I kind of know. I kind of agree with that. I guess I don't know. It was pretty cool. I never really had to spend too much time down in there, or at least hanging around. But it was pretty cool. I think it was in October and 80 degrees, and just having a few beers and hanging out and selling hats is pretty cool.
That's Longhorn country, though. How did it compete? I mean, you go in, it's uncharted territory for West River Hat Co. Do you think you held up the brand properly?
Oh, I think so. And some people, they always mistaken as the Texas Longhorn or like Chicago Bulls or something like that. And so some people feed off of that, and I just kind of let it be what it is. But once people actually, I show them the logo and figure it all out, they're like, okay, and they kind of get after it. And seemed like people really liked it down there, so it's kind of cool. And I don't know, I wasn't in Austin where the Longhorns are from or whatever, so they were a little bit hesitant, but I don't know, most people ate it up, so it was cool.
I mean, Austin's basically the California of Texas, so you might be okay not going there.
Right.
That's why I like kind of like the Chicago Bulls logo. I'm not a fan of the NBA. I just can't seem to get into it. But if I had to pick a team, it'd probably be the Bulls. I do like the style, so I appreciate that. And I mean, do you find it hard to compete with other apparel brands? I feel like I see a lot of, the Longhorn kind of based logos out there. How do you feel about it?
I haven't had too much trouble with it. Like when there has been people that kind of have the same like brand stuff, and I got to visiting with like my Coulter Hensel is a good friend with Up North Outlaws and stuff, and we got to talking about it too, like once people like one, they're more likely gonna get another one because people like having multiple hats, right, or whatever. And I feel like people kind of they haven't really shied away from me when there's been other people, so it's been kind of nice, I guess. And um, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I haven't really gone to too many where there has been too crazy of people, but
What is there? You mentioned like the legality of it. Is there like, do you ever get like, oh, you can't have this, and then you gotta like show them you're like, this isn't that logo?
right. Yeah, I haven't done that, I guess. You know what? I do have it trademarked and stuff, but like I don't know, people have asked me and like, oh, it's the Texas Longhorn or whatever, and I'll let them kind of figure it out on their own and see if they can see it or whatever, and I just kind of let it be, I guess, if they are
Well,
set in their ways. But
it's smart to trademark it because there was another clothing company in North Dakota that they had been operating for like 5 years, and then they realized that their name was already trademarked, and they had to completely
Oh,
change
yeah,
it.
they got a cease and desist letter, and I can't imagine the mood in the office that day.
oh my gosh, yeah, that would be the worst. That's the worst nightmare there.
Like, could you imagine being like, oh, I have to change the name of the company and logo, and I just have to set this trailer of hats on fire? You'd
I
be like,
guess I'll just become an
fuck.
accountant.
Give them away to the homeless people. They can wear them around or something. I don't know.
Go down to Guatemala, and there's a bunch of West River hats down there.
One way to start your
So when you were starting it and you kind of, figured you had something similar to Matt and I with the podcast, right away, just we did it as a project. We obviously wanted to do it well. And then a few months in, it's like it blew up. How did you have a lot of fear as a business owner kind of taking a risk starting?
Oh, for sure. Yeah. I mean, there's still risk in it now. Like every show is different, so you don't really know what you're getting into. And then like you're always like me, I'm kind of chasing my tail all the time, getting inventory and stuff back in stock and doing all that, trying to get new things. And you just never really know how it's going to go or hang on to it. And I don't know, you see the bills and stuff, but at the end of the day, you're investing in yourself. So you just work harder to keep going. And that's where I kind of seem to go. And once people were kind of taken to it, I just like, okay, well, if it goes, it goes. If it doesn't, I mean, don't know unless you try. So
So how long has it been since you made your first hat until now, would you say?
my first hats I made were I think I started this in like 2018. So I started with 4 black hats and four gray and black hats, and now I have over 100, and just getting people's ideas and what they would like to wear. And you just take one off as long as you go. Can you guys see me or
We cannot. That's all right.
okay?
Hopefully it'll pop back on soon. We're experiencing some technical difficulties here. That's all right. We're gonna ride the storm here. And we may have to figure something out. Oh boy. Well, we went 13 minutes. So that was cool.
Yeah, I'm gonna get back to work.
Fuck. Hey, there he is.
There you go. Made her
All
back.
right, we
Sorry.
are still, yeah. No, you're good. We're still recording. With the design, like you were saying, do you take a lot of feedback? Do you design stuff yourself? Do you have a designer? How does that work?
Yeah, right now mostly it's just been me and my wife. We just kind of been bouncing a few things off each other, and I always try to ask people what they want to see or what they'd like to see, or you know, I'm not selling to myself. So if people are telling me they want something, I mean, it's probably a majority of people that want it too. So I don't know, just trying to do different things, and you don't know unless you try. So if it doesn't sell, just be done with it and move on to the next thing, and I come up with a few designs here recently, and like just trying to see what's going on with them. But maybe one day down the road here, get a designer or somebody that's an artist, because I'm for sure not an artist. I get a rough idea, and one of Kenzie's friends draws it up for me. So we're just trying to, I don't know.
Well, that's nice to have the in-house artist. You need some help with something. That's pretty much how small businesses operate. You know, you got to rely on who you have and the resources that are at your disposal. So that's one way to go. You're doing a lot of shows, rodeos, trade shows, what have you. You got the booth, you're seeing tons of customers come through. How tiring does it get to reintroduce yourself, reintroduce the brand, tell the story?
Yeah, man, it's a lot, and people don't really realize it. They come up and they see you for about a minute or whatever, and you have to just put that face on for everybody that comes through. And at the end of the day, everybody wants to go to the bar or go to hang out, have a beer or whatever. And at the end of the day, it's just nice to go back to the hotel or whatever, just not say a word because I've spent all day talking, and I'm not much of I wouldn't say I'm a super outgoing social person. So like it gets to be a lot, but you get used to it and just go with the flow.
Honestly, I think drinking might actually help that out if you
Yeah.
drink during the day, and then I don't know if it'll help out the numbers because you got to count and stuff, but it'd be a lot more fun.
Yeah, for sure. No, I'd gotten myself into a couple pickles going to like say Country Fest or whatever. You got a couple beers waiting for you, and you just
Wake
gotta
up the
slow
next
down a
morning
little
and
bit.
don't know where your trailer is and figure it
Yeah,
out.
yeah, exactly. No, it's pretty fun though. People, all my friends and stuff will stop by and you can have a beer and just visit. It's pretty cool. So I
I
enjoy
can
that.
actually attest to that. When I saw you this last, I believe it was the Mandan Rodeo over the 4th of July, I stopped by and said hi. You're like, hey, you want a beer? I'm like, absolutely. This is awesome. I
You
even
bet.
gave my hand at sales, Matt. I've been in sales before. I tried to sell some hats to some people. I don't think they bought it, but I tried. I gave Lane a
I think you
break.
did pretty good.
I mean, I'm a bit of a character, and you've seen me, with a couple 1, 2, 14 drinks in me. So I
That'll
could I
happen.
I could be outgoing. I always visit every chance I get. So that's a lot of fun. How do you handle tire kickers? There's somebody they're piddling around. Any sweet sales tactics?
Not really. I don't know. I mean, you kind of tell them the spiel about the logo and whatever, see if they can figure it out. And I don't know. Usually, if they hang around for a while, maybe hit them with like a $5 discount, or just to get them moving, or I don't know.
I was like, if you try on more than 2 hats and don't buy anything, I'm gonna beat the shit out of you.
I'm gonna stick the guard dog on you.
Yeah.
No,
Well, see,
I don't know. Just kind of let people do their thing. I don't know. If you don't want to wear it, I don't want you to wear it either. You're probably not gonna wear it the right way or whatever. So if you don't want to wear it, that's your deal. So
So you're not gonna force. You're not a used car salesman. We're not
right,
forcing
yeah,
anything here.
right.
That seems to be the way to go. Have you ever had any weird situations with maybe somebody's too drunk or somebody's trying to steal something? Has that ever happened to you?
Yeah, a couple times here, and that's one thing kind of shitty about it. I go to these pro rodeos and everyone rushes you at one time, so you're like, oh my gosh, you're always in your phone trying to type in your card deal, and it'll happen where I caught a couple people last year doing it, and I mean they were fine with it, they paid whatever, but I mean who knows if anybody else had taken anything, but if they really wanted it that bad, at least they'll wear it, so it's kind of some advertising for a guy. But I don't
Yeah.
know, it's just you kind of just got to trust people and do your own thing, and it is what it is.
I've never seen someone pivot to a positive point on being robbed faster than you did.
I guess. No,
How
I don't know. It doesn't do any good to sulk about it. I mean, like I said, I mean, if they're gonna steal, they probably want to wear it. So it is what
so
it is.
how awkward was that? Did you see him and chase him down, or what was the situation?
Actually, I had to sit Kenzie on it. She was watching guard for me, and she was kind of just go around like when it does get so busy, you almost need another set of eyes. People are just grabbing things and putting it back wherever. So she's was putting some sweatshirts back and noticed this kid. He had like 3, 4 of them, and it's like, holy, all right. But she flagged him down and he come over and he kind of tucked his tail and whatever. But honestly, it hasn't happened too much, you know, and I've been pretty fortunate. People are pretty honest, and we'll see how it gets when it gets bigger. But I mean, people kind of understand I'm small, and they kind of stick to their guns that way.
I feel like you picked the right crowd though, because the rodeo Western crowd might be, besides a few bad apples, might be the most honest crowd you could be. Feel like you go to
Yes.
like an EDM concert, you
Yeah,
expect to get half your inventory stolen.
you're right. Yeah, for sure. I agree with that. You know, everyone's kind of if they've kind of put themselves in that situation. If they were the one selling or or doing some of that, they kind of understand. So I feel like that is kind of one nice thing.
Well, I also could attest to that too, because when I visited you, this hat that I'm wearing right now, I complimented. I was like, "Man, that hat is sweet," and you're like, "Do you want it?" I don't know if you're trying to sell it to me. I thought you were just trying to hook it up, and I was like, "No, man, I'll just order it from you down the road and support." That's what I did. There's my shirt. I
Yeah,
got the
you're the
hat on.
man.
So you have more than hats. Tell us about the other inventory.
Yeah, so obviously I'm a hat and clothing company, but mostly hats was what I was trying to go for. But everyone has their own taste and stuff, and I mean, once a guy has so many hats, it's hard to get another one. I figured why not have some t-shirts and I have some ladies tank tops, some crew neck sweatshirts, some hoodies, just some basic stuff to where if a guy gets bored of it, he has other options. And some girls and guys, they just don't like hats, so at least to have something for them. But yeah, I got a few different styles and continuously growing with that. So
Well, I'm a self-proclaimed West River Hat Company ambassador because every single time, I don't care who it is or what the situation is, if I see somebody wearing it, I will compliment them. And
yeah,
people love that. They eat right into it. I mean, any compliment's great, but if you can specifically point out their brand they're wearing and say, like, I like that or it looks good, great job, they love it.
I know it's awesome. I appreciate that. And without other people wearing my stuff and talking about it and like even just pumping people up like that, this wouldn't be where it is today. I've been pretty fortunate with friends and family doing that, and it's pretty cool. So it takes an army.
That's the problem with NBNH gear. It's like people are like, "Oh, a podcast? Why? You guys are idiots. Why would I do that to myself?"
It's like, oh, here's a koozie. You could just throw it on the ground in the parking lot after.
I've picked up stickers off the ground, and that's a gut punch right there. Where it's like, wow, I handed somebody a free
Yeah.
60-cent sticker. Can't even give it to a kid or something. Come on.
Come on, do something cool.
So, how do you handle being on the road a lot? You're traveling all over.
Yeah, it's been pretty cool. I got into different places I've never really been, and actually got to hang out at them. I used to pro rodeo and do some of that, but so I got to see some of the places, but you're not really there for a long period of time. You're there for a couple hours during the rodeo and you leave right away. So then you don't really get to enjoy it, but it was pretty cool, and just taking it all in, I guess, and get to see the sights, see the towns, and I don't know, it's pretty cool. But
Well, you said
it gets lonely, long hours, like pack up at midnight, whatever, and you take off and go where you can go and just on to the next one.
So what do you do when you leave at midnight? Is it just energy drink coffee, or you letting someone else drive and you just crawl into the back seat and fall asleep?
Well, a little bit, I guess. I'm mostly by myself here recently. I mean, my wife and stuff, she's pretty busy with school, so I've been kind of lone wolfing it for the most part. But, I just kind of feed off the adrenaline from packing up. And, coffee, sunflower seeds are a big thing. And just I've been plugging in a lot of podcasts and, just kind of hanging out. So
What are you
time
listening
goes
to?
faster anyway.
I shouldn't ask for other podcasts, but what are you listening to?
Well, other than No Brains, No Headache, I guess I'll watch.
What's that?
Been a huge Pat McAfee guy. I've been diving into that. Ever since I got down south here. I don't know if I missed a day. There's some funny people and kind of talk about some stuff I like to hear about. So
I do like, he has another show on his network. It's called The Pod.
Oh
I
yeah.
recommend it. It's awesome.
All right.
It's
Have to
just
dive
dumb.
in.
Yeah, it's just dumb shit that happens on the internet, and they talk about it, and it gets me going every week.
Hell yeah.
Unlike this podcast, which is real downer.
Do you have a favorite road trip snack besides sunflower seeds? You're at the gas station. You're loading up for a little bit of a haul. What are you gonna get?
That's a tough one. I'm pretty easygoing guy, so whatever I'm feeling at the time, I go with. But I'm a big Reese's guy, and
Nice.
if I have to dive into some pop, I'm a big Mellow Yellow guy. They don't have it down here, so you got to kind of get it where you find it. So it's
Really?
weird. Yeah, it's the weirdest thing. You get outside of North and South Dakota, it's gone. Minnesota maybe too, but
I don't like that Mellow Yellow changed the color of the plastic because it just
Yeah.
looks like piss now instead
I
of
was
like
gonna
the
say what? Yeah, I
It's
agree.
like
I
that,
was like, what is
whoever's in their
going on?
marketing department should be kicked in the nuts because that's a terrible
Honestly.
idea.
Yeah.
Especially if you're pissing in it on the road and you're like, well, I got a Mellow Yellow and then a jug of piss. It's like we could have an awkward situation coming up here.
Playing Russian roulette with them, huh? I haven't gotten that desperate yet, but
So we met, and for licensing reasons, I can't say the name, but we met at a country music festival in North Dakota, I guess you could say. First impression of Matt, myself, no brains, no headache. Do you remember the day? I do.
yeah, a little bit. Yeah, I was probably a couple beers in, but yeah,
It's pretty early.
yeah.
Either you or your
Yeah.
brother called my shirt rank.
I think it was Wade.
Yeah. Wade Berg.
Yeah. Yeah.
Jordan said your
I
brother's
don't know,
name. And I was like, Wade Berg sounds like a guy that would walk around with just a fence post at all times.
I could see that.
I don't know why, but it matches.
Yeah.
I mean, if you meet Wade, you know. Yeah. First impression though.
Yeah,
Do you
you kind of
remember
get on
what
them phases where you just start saying some. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I think we're just at this point. We're past it. Got a short delay, technical difficulties today here on episode 190. But yeah, we met a few summers ago, and I ended up with a hat of yours. I didn't pay for it. I didn't steal it, but somebody gave it to me, and it sat there for a while. I'm like, this hat's kind of cool. Started wearing it, got into the West River Hat co-brand, and the rest is history.
One thing led to another.
So you said, you kind of answered one of my questions. You have participated in rodeo events before. What did you do?
So I grew up rodeo, and I think I got on my first bull when I was 9 years old, and just kind of had a love for it ever since. And I always wanted to be the guy on TV and stuff, so I just kind of strived to do it. And once me and my brother were both in it, we both kind of pushed each other to be better at it. And it started with bull riding. Then you go to them rodeos and you sit around forever. You're like, okay, maybe I could do one or two more of these just to kill some time. And got into like steer wrestling and team roping, and I did a little bit of calf roping, but wasn't too good at it. But I just tried to kill a little bit of time, and halfway was getting good at a few of them. So got a college rodeo scholarship to Rodeo for Dickinson State, where I mostly did bull riding and steer wrestling. But yeah, it was pretty cool, and met a lot of my best friends doing it, so it was pretty neat. And I don't know.
In the college rodeo ranks, is Dickinson State, are they pretty good? Are they a powerhouse? What are we talking?
When I first got there, it was it was mostly fighting for the top 2 spots to go to nationals every year, and we stayed around. We did pretty good as a team those first or throughout my college career and stuff, and I think we're still doing all right. But it's just kind of cool. You see all of your North Dakota friends and few random states that come in. Just get a little closer with them, and it's pretty cool.
I know BSC is gonna get rodeo here soon, but is there any other colleges in the state that has rodeo?
Yeah, I saw that. That's pretty exciting news. I mean, anything to promote rodeo is pretty cool. So that BSC signing or starting is pretty cool. But Dickinson State has one, BSC now, and then Fargo. So NDSU had a team. And I think they still do, but they're kind of more of a club than whatever. So
And I just thought of this for expense wise. They always say like football is the most expensive college sport. I feel like a sport that involves buying barnyard animals has to be the most expensive college sport on the planet.
yeah, that's for sure. You know, people don't really understand like what all goes into it: the travel, the entry fees, the gear. You know, just a bull riding helmet. I mean, I got a decent one. It was like, I mean, it was like $500-600, you know, and a vest and a rope is $200-300, and it adds up fast. But
What?
yeah, no, I mean, in the rodeo game, you don't really have to buy your own stuff. So if you're just a bull rider or anything, you just show up and you get on the stock provided. But like if you're gonna do horse events, you got to have your horse. You got to have a trailer to get them there and or find a ride, and it's a whole ordeal.
So with college rodeo, it was like bring your own horse. They're not going to have a bunch of horses.
Nope, no, yeah. If you're gonna do steer wrestling or whatever, I mean, you could use a buddies or something, but then you got to get comfortable with that horse and whatever. So I don't know, unless you're just trying to waste money, I would
Do
get
they
your own.
provide a place for, say you're a barrel racer and you're not from Dickinson, but you're going to Dickinson for barrel racing in school, obviously. Are you provided a place for, a stable for your horse to stay?
You just do it on the
No,
Dickinson State football field.
yeah, right. No, you're kind of on your own. You know, I was fortunate enough to know a friend of family friend, I guess, and they didn't really take in housing for horses or nothing. But if you knew them, they would let you or they would let you stay there. So I got pretty fortunate that way. But you're kind of on your own just to figure it out, and um, then you got that bill on top of it for stalling, and I don't know if you have to bring your own feed or if they feed them. You know, so it's pretty crazy.
So even if you get a college scholarship for rodeo, you end up spending more money than probably a normal college student does anyways, just paying for school.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. You know, and I don't know about other schools. I've only spent time in Dickinson to really know, but at least in Dickinson State, you kind of had to find your own stuff, which then you get what you want to. And some people have different preferences on how they're kept or whatever. So you can figure that out. But yeah, I don't know. And it should be part of it, you'd think, but it's just part of the game.
But if you win your event, is there a cash prize? And if so, are you allowed to keep that individually?
Yeah. So college rodeo was kind of nice that way. It was all pay to
The
play. Like pay to
NCAA,
play.
Yeah,
there's no
no,
way
yeah,
this is.
it's you just you won your event. Here's $1,000,
I'll have that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
tax free.
Yeah, it should be, huh? I think you still had to pay taxes on it, but it wasn't a whole lot in college. You're mostly just trying to be top three in the region would get you to nationals. So you're mostly just trying to better yourself that way to get seen on the national level or whatever. But yeah, our college team, you'd get free travel and stuff if you're on like top 5 point getter on your team. So you're always trying to gun to be the top of your team and stuff like that. So there's little incentives and stuff that you could get. But yeah, if you were struggling or behind the 8 ball, you had to really work for it.
I'm
My
so intrigued right now.
Yeah, my favorite part about something you said was that you were bored bull riding, so you went and did other events when you were waiting. It's like every other sport, when you're bored waiting for something, you don't pick up another sport. You pick up another drug habit.
Yeah, right. Yeah, just getting in more trouble. I don't know. You're already there to do
So,
it.
yeah, I
So
figured
you
I'd
might as
do
well.
more work. Yeah.
Yeah. More opportunity to make some money, and I don't know, you got to have more friends and meet different people. Like, the bull riding part of it, you're always kind of down by the chute, so you only got to be friends with those kids. When you were on the other end, you kind of could mingle a little bit more with some of them people that were on your same schedule, at least, so you could, I don't know, just network a little bit more that way.
So for you're saying it's like a team. Is rodeo at college a team event where you get team points as well as individual, kind of like wrestling?
Yeah, it's pretty much like wrestling that way. You kind of you're competing as yourself, but like let's say you have one of my college roommates was Clay Jorgensen, so he was in the bareback ride, and so if he did good, and let's say Jamie Mullins, who was my saddle bronc, he was another college roommate. Like if all three of us did good, you could, I don't know, win as a team, and then your team would ultimately get higher ranked in the region. And I think the top two teams got to go to nationals. So even if you didn't make it as yourself, you could partner up as a team and make it too. So
Have you gone, or what's your favorite place that you went to participate in a rodeo event?
I don't know. There's been a few, and uh, it's hard telling because I've gone to some pretty cool places. I've went down to Licking, Missouri one time, and which wasn't the coolest place, but like it was raining so dang hard. It was just miserable, and clouds are spinning above us. I'll never forget that. Where it's just the most outlandish thing. But you're there to rodeo, and once it was your turn, you're going. So I always remember that one. Remember going to the Civic Center in Bismarck and being one of the first guys, and they always hype up. They always hype up the bull ride, and just get the crowd into it. And I remember crawling in there and warming up my rope and like grabbing the chute, and just the people exploding with cheers and whatever. It was like vibrating the chutes. It was like just got a guy so amped, and I'll never forget that either. But hey, you go everywhere. It's pretty cool. Those ones probably have a special part in my mind because it's something I'll never forget. But I don't know. Went to a lot of them.
Okay, two-part question here. What's the worst place you've gone, and why is it Council Bluffs, Iowa?
I don't know. It's because it's pretty scrummy, probably. I
Yeah.
don't know. No.
Matt's just taking shots.
Dude, Council
Yeah.
Bluffs.
Why do you hate Council? Why do you hate Council Bluffs so much?
I'm a Omaha guy, so you call it Council Tucky if you're an Omaha guy.
I can see that. I can see it.
And it's the only place in history of the show Bar Rescue where John Taffer refused to rescue the bar because it was so shitty.
Jesus.
They got some pretty good strip clubs though. Other than that, not great.
There you go.
Wow, some history right there.
Not great.
Yeah.
So it is or is not Council Bluffs.
I actually never been there to rodeo or nothing. I mean, I only spent a little bit of time selling hats there, but it's a little rougher part of town, but get in and get out.
The whole town is rough.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter what part you're in. So you have since hung up the shaps, you could say. What's when did you decide that was the time to be done?
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't really hang him up yet. I don't know. I'm kind of kicking around here and there, but
Okay, not officially hung up. Let's make that official on the record.
yeah, just kind of had to do what I had to do. Last year going full time with it and moving down here to Sioux City, it didn't really know what I was gonna do, and I was like, shoot, this is the best time if any to try the hat thing. So I was like, if I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna go full heartedly at it and see how it goes, And I made a goal last year to do 2 a weekend, and the only thing crappy about doing shows with the hat deal, you take away your rodeo weekends. So I kind of had to pick one or the other because I wasn't gonna kind of half-ass the rodeo thing. So we'll see what happens. I mean, probably I've been kicking around maybe starting again this year just because I know what to expect with it all. But I don't know, just slow down a little bit if anything.
Well, you got 2 salesmen right here. You hire us, we'll take over, no problem.
And I can really cater to your no ball pussy loser audience that would want to buy hats, and then Jordan can cater to the
fraudulent cowboy audience.
Anyone that has seen the show Yellowstone twice.
Yeah, for sure.
How often do you go?
Actually, I've never even seen Yellowstone before, so I couldn't even tell you what it's all about.
That is the most cowboy thing I've ever heard. Fuck Kevin Costner.
I've heard a lot of good things, but I just haven't dove in yet.
How often do you go to the Hard Rock Casino in Sioux City?
Probably too much. No, I kind of try to stay away. Being from North Dakota, you can go play blackjack all the time, so I got pretty decent at it. So I was like, that's just a bad opportunity waiting to happen if I go to the Hard Rock all the time. So I've been trying to maintain here, but it reels me in every once in a while.
It's a great casino.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Right in the heart of Sioux City. They used to have I don't know how long you've lived there, but they used to have like a riverboat gambling thing that was literally just parked in Sioux City.
Oh, I think I know where you're talking. Yeah.
And so how they legally could have it is like every 2 hours they would move it like 5 feet and then move it back.
Jesus. I don't know. They must not have it anymore because I've never been on it or heard about it. So
no, it literally, when they opened the Hard Rock, the boat just drove down the river and no one ever saw it again.
Jesus.
It's the Viking funeral.
Viking funeral, an entire casino.
That's crazy.
Well, we got a couple more questions here before we wrap up. Have you ever sustained a serious injury from rodeo or bull riding or what have you?
Yeah. It's just part of the game, but yeah, I broke my collarbone probably like 3-4 years ago, and it kind of screwed me up a little bit, just getting that mind frame back to getting on there and not having to worry about it. But I tore my meniscus one time steer wrestling. Other than that, I've been pretty fortunate where nothing too crazy has happened, and just kind of super non-serious stuff like MCLs or ACLs or anything like that. So been bunged up a lot.
Is that what your brother Wade had last time I saw him? I think he just got injured like a week prior when I saw him. What's his status?
He's back to it now. He tore his ACL and stuff last year in Clear Lake, South Dakota, and it's kind of disheartening. You put all that time and effort, and one major injury happens, and you're out for the year, and just got to get back to where you were. So he's been getting back to it now, and he's off and running again, I think. So
have you ever been gotten hung up?
Oh yeah, I remember this one time in junior high. I probably didn't have the greatest equipment, and I got drug around forever, just stomped on. But it made me tougher, that's for sure, and made sure I stayed in the middle of them so I didn't have to worry about it again.
So I know what being hung up means, but for our listeners out there, what does it mean?
What happens is your hand gets stuck in the rope, and so when you get bucked off or you get off, you want to get off into your hand, and usually when you get hung up, the guy goes away from his hand. So let's say the guy is left-handed, he'll fall off to the right, which was for me. You'd more than likely get hung up. So you're running around trying to stay on your feet and try not to like get drug around and have that bull step on you or whatever. So,
So
yeah,
much like jerking off, you want to get off on your hand.
yeah, pretty much.
I could bull ride.
I can see it.
How much respect do you have for bullfighters? We had Bo Sheets on one time. Great guy.
Yeah, I have a lot of respect for them guys, and it just to have that reassurance in the back of your mind when you get on. You're like, okay, these guys are out there doing their job. I'll be all right. Just do my job, and hopefully things will be all right. So I don't know. Them guys are kind of they get some respect when they go there. They get a little ovation, but they're definitely don't get the respect they truly deserve. They have a lot of or their hands in a lot of it. So,
well, let's talk about rank real quick. What's your definition of rank?
I don't know. I use rank in a bunch of different ways. It's kind of a universal term, I guess, but I'd say rank as being like kind of like a badass or I don't know, cool or badass. I'd say, I guess, is my path. I use it, but I don't know. It could be a little bit of everything.
It can be positive and negative.
Oh yeah, like that dude smells rank. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know if you want to be known as that, but
It can get confusing. Like that chili's rank. It's like, I don't know if I should eat the chili now.
right. Yeah, I don't know. You gotta watch where you're using it around.
If you had to rank Matt's rankness 1 to 10, 10 being the most rank, how rank is Matt?
I'd say Matt's about rank 11. I mean, he's over the scale
Oh,
rank.
It's about
boy.
10 more than I should be.
Matt.
I did tell you about the boots I didn't put on because it was going to be a lot of work, and I thought that was going to ruin it. So,
Hey, that's all right. I heard it's cold as balls up there, so
It's I didn't want to talk about weather, but you bring it up. It was like 60 one day, negative 12 yesterday. Today it's mild. Tomorrow it's gonna be like 50s again. So it's bipolar. I don't know what's going on.
Honestly, yeah, it's messed up. It's like, how does it even work that way?
Yeah, I have no idea. But yeah, I think that the rodeo folk really gravitate towards Matt because I'm not saying they have a humble pride to them, I would say. And I feel like maybe somebody like myself may come off as slightly intimidating, whereas Matt is just not. And they're like, you know what? I like this guy.
You just go with the flow.
Yeah, I met a dude at a bar, and he was like, I was like, oh, hey, how's it going? He's like, my name's Keyshawn. And then I come to find out that he's like a top 10 bull rider in the world. And I was like, huh, that was pretty cool.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. That's one nice thing about the rodeo world. Some of them people, they just want to be treated as people, and they're just normal guy like everybody else. And I don't know.
I mean, joke's on them. I have no idea who they are. So win-win.
Right.
In your estimation, who is the most famous person you have ever met?
Jeez, I don't know. You put me on the spot.
That's what we're here to do.
Yeah. I don't know. There's been a lot of them, I guess. Shoot, I don't even really know.
We'll start rodeo related.
Yeah, that's
and
what
then
I was going for.
non-rodeo related.
You know what? Being behind the shoots, you get to see people like JB and
Have you
Chad
met
Berger.
JB?
What's that?
Have you met JB? Like shook his
I've
hand?
said hi to him and stuff. I mean, he probably gets people talking to him all the time and stuff. But
Yeah.
like he hung around with my brother a few times, and he's just a normal guy, so nothing too crazy. But I mean, like you see Chad Berger growing up, you idolize him because you see him on TV all the time, and when he's actually there, it's just kind of surreal. Or just some guys running around in the top 15 in the world make the NFR, so seeing them guys running around, it's pretty cool, and you kind of get starstruck and don't really know what to say. But yeah,
Yeah.
I see them. Go ahead.
Sorry. I was gonna say I met Boudreaux Campbell one time. I did an interview with him behind the shoots. Super nice guy. I got his phone. He gave me his phone number. I was like, I'm never gonna text you. I don't know
Yeah.
where you are.
Right.
I was like, hey, do you want to go grab a beer after this? I could gladly buy you a beer. And I get this answer a lot from bull riders that I meet and I want to party with. They're always like, I'm sorry, I can't. I got a flight early in the morning. He was flying out to New Jersey the next day. Like, just crazy.
Yeah. That's one thing weird about the rodeo world is you don't stay in one place too long. That's for sure.
Yeah, that's probably maybe I should join rodeo. It's probably best if I don't leave my imprint too long on a place. I've been to Bismarck for fucking 30 years. It's time to get the hell out. Jesus.
Spread your wings a little bit,
Yeah, instead of spreading my legs, Christ. All right. Well, I think that's a good note to end on here. Lane, where could people check out all your work?
So I got a website, westriverhatco.com. Everything that I am hauling around should be on there, and I usually stay pretty up to date on it. So Facebook, Instagram, just started TikTok here this last year, so trying to do some different things with that. And yeah, just every once in a while pop in your town and try selling some hats. So
Well, heck yeah, man. Every time I get a chance to come see you, I do, and I certainly will the next time we cross paths. So definitely let's stay in touch. So I want to say thank you to Lane Berg here with West River Hat Company. Check out his work. I'm wearing it right now. If you like it, check us out on YouTube. Matt, where can our listeners check out the podcast to get more in detail with our guest today?
Yeah, you can check us out on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube at NBNH Podcast. You can follow along there, or you can leave us a review on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, or listen wherever you get your podcasts.
Lane, thank you so much for joining us, man.
yeah, thanks for having me, guys. I really appreciate it.
Stay in touch. Next up, episode 191.
This is a freestyle to top of the dome. Here we go. And I do it again, 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 again. I do it only once. Again, 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 again. I do it only once. I go down that river slow to the place I shoot like Carmelo. I'm living my life and we go hard, floating on the river in a party barge. And I see you on a sea dude. Your shirt was
West
worn and
River.
it was see-through. Please use the spray no mosquitoes. Every time you found me, it's a free throw. Hey girl, why you calling me? I said, oh please don't bother me. I'm so sick of apologies. That's so damn appalling to me. But last night was the best night that I have ever.
We'll call it there. Lane, excellent job.
Yeah, thank you, guys. Hopefully I did all right.
Yeah, how do you think you did?
It was pretty cool.
That was pretty rank.
Pretty fucking rank.
I like interviews where I don't